Saying somebody wants Sean Puffy Combs completely destroyed. And I think I know who it is. I believe it is Diageo. I believe it is the British-based liquor company that Puffy was doing business with. They're one of the biggest liquor companies in the world. They market and sell some of the most popular brands of liquor, including Ciroc. And Diddy had an agreement with them where they would help him market his De Leon tequila brand. And Diddy took issue with Diageo because they had described the De Leon tequila liquor, Puffy's brand, they described it to their customer base as if it was an inner city, urban, quote unquote, ghetto, hip hop type of liquor. And Puffy took issue with that because he said, I'm a global icon. I'm a hip hop mogul. Don't limit my product just to black people. And by doing that, you're dissuading white people and non-blacks from buying my liquor. You're cutting my sales low. And I think you're doing it on purpose because you don't want De Leon tequila to outsell all your other European controlled brands. So Puffy accused Diageo of racial discrimination in advertising and marketing. Diageo got upset with Puff, British-based company. They said, you done already made $1 billion off of us. How
what
dare
is so
you
sad
sue
is
us
how the black
and try to
people,
make
the
a
black
few more
community
billion off
falls
of us.
into this
So they
shit
tried
so
to get
easily
the case thrown out.
and go
But
against
the
their own
judge
brothers.
allowed the case to proceed because Diageo claimed that there was a clause in their contract with Puff that did not allow him to ever take them to court. Any grievances, according to the contract, Diageo alleges needed to be solved outside of court. But the judge sided with Puff and allowed the lawsuit to go forward. So Diageo is losing black money because of this racial discrimination piece. Other companies don't want to do business with them because they don't want to be branded as anti-black, even if they are, because everybody knows we disproportionately spend more money on liquor than any other group. So Diageo is losing money. Then on top of that, Puff then already made $1 billion off of them, and now Puff is suing them for a few more billion. So what do? They decide to settle out of court. Now check this out. Diageo and Puff settled out of court in January 2024. Puffy's homes are raided in March. There's no way you're going to convince me that a company that powerful, Diageo operates in 180 of 194 countries in the world. They operate in 180 out of 194 countries in the world. You are not going to convince me that 1 + 1 does not equal 2. There is no way they were forced to settle with Puffy in January, and less than 2 months later, his homes are raided. And I'm going to tell you how I believe Puffy gave them the ammunition to go after him, Art. When Cassie made her accusations against Puff, he settled in about 24 hours. And they settled in November of 2023. Mind you, he's already in court with Diageo since the spring of 2023. Watch this timeline. He sues Diageo in the spring. Cassie comes out in the fall. He settles with Cassie in 24 hours. Diageo is watching this. So when Diageo decides to settle with Puff outside of court, they did this knowing full well we're about to go after you and destroy you. You are messing with the Illuminati. You have no idea who you effing with, Sean Combs. And when Puff was so quick to settle with Cassie, that showed the whole world he was vulnerable. That showed the whole world he had skeletons in his closet. And do you know what I think Diageo did after they settled with Puff? I bet you after they settled with Puff, they probably never even made it to the airplane. They picked up the phone and they called King Charles III.
What it is.
Dear monarch,
it's too easy.
We need you
to stigmatize
their
own people to go against them.
To President Joe Biden. because this Sean Puffy Combs, this little nigga out of New York City, he think he can go to war with the big boys and not pay the consequences. Sean Puffy Combs, that hip hop king out of New York, he think he can tell white people what to do. He think he going to rob us for a couple $2 billion and get away with it. It's not going down. Dear King, please make that call on behalf of your citizens. That's what I believe happened. King Charles picked up the phone. He called Joe Biden or any number of U.S. citizens, any number of U.S. prosecutors. In less than 2 months after Puffy settled with Diego, his homes were raided. Now, here's the other thing, Art. The reason they did not arrest Puffy until recently, because they could have arrested him then, is they wanted to wait and save this for a time they needed to distract the black public away from something that they didn't need us getting involved in. The reason he got arrested now is because we're 6 weeks away from the presidential election, and Black America was tearing Kamala Harris's ass up looking for presidential accountability. They were all over Kamala Harris. She couldn't answer no questions. She didn't want to do no interviews. And so the power structure said, let's get him right now. We need something we can throw at Black America. We know they're emotional. We know they care more about hip hop than anything else in their community. Okay, what can we throw Black America to get them off of Kamala Harris's back? Let's throw them Puff. And if you notice, Art, ever since Kamala decided to seek the presidential nomination when Joe Biden stepped down, every conversation in Black Twitter, Black Facebook, Black Instagram, Black TikTok, Black YouTube, everything has been about what? The presidential election. Trump, Kamala, Kamala, Trump. That's all we've been talking about until they arrested Puff. Now go on Black Twitter. Now go on Black Instagram. Now go on Black YouTube. Nobody's talking about Kamala too much no more. Everybody's worried about Puff. That's exactly what they wanted to do. Distract Black America away from the presidential election by throwing them the Puffy lynching so we can get Kamala to the finish line.
It is. They don't want you royalty. Royalty is power. And once you got the power, you can control your community. They want to control your community. When are you going to get it? Vous allez comprendre ça quand? When are you going to understand the people? On accuse P.Diddy exactement sur quoi? On accuse pourquoi? Exactement. The indictment is exactly for what? What are they accusing him for? What has he done? C'est toujours très facile de détruire un autre frère. On passe toujours par ses frères pour le atteindre. Ça a été toujours comme ça. Une fois que c'est lancé, on pousse ses frères. C'est eux qui commencent d'abord à dénoncer. Une fois que c'est lancé, une fois que ses frères dénoncent, à ce moment, on ne peut plus entrer dans le racisme. Donc, on commence toujours par les frères. Une fois que les frères commencent à dénoncer, oh, puis dire, ah, fait ceci, les gens sont avec les témoignages. Un grand pays comme l'Amérique, vous voulez me dire depuis près de 20 ans, 30 ans, l'Amérique n'avait pas encore découvert toutes ces choses? Est-ce que vous connaissez ce qui se passe là-bas à Hollywood? Les Blancs, ce qu'ils font. Les Blancs qui sont pervers comme quoi?